if you look at the formula right here, so you have the geometric series. So we're talking about a curve, like an actual exponential curve. And yes, you are finding the area underneath the exponential curve. And we say, how can you do that? And we have this equation to help you out. Okay. And we will have to rely on the calculator more for this part. Now I'm not going to ask you to know where this came from. Okay. Like, arithmetic series, I said you need to know it. Okay. It's a trapezoid. But this one, I will show it to you where it came from, but you don't need to know it. It'd be great if you do. That's how things came up together. So what we do is we subtract these two equations, and then we have this. You factor the Sn, you factor the A, and then they just solve for Sn, and then you have the equation up there. So if you're interested, I can explain to you, I can show you how it works, but for the near term, that's what it is. Okay, so you have A1, you have the R, which is the ratio, and you need to know the N value. So if you look at the first example with the summation notation, it's very straightforward. We're saying, please go ahead, add up the first 8 terms. So we say N is equal to 8. And if you look at the formula right here, it resembles the nth term notation, because you have A1 times R to the N minus 1. So what is A1 in this case? Well, should be the number in front of the parentheses, and since you don't see any number, so A1 must be 1. The other way to find out that A1 is 1, we can simply plug in 1 into N. 1 minus 1 is 0, negative 3 to the 0 power 1. Okay. And then if you can see the resemblance, then you can see the ratio. The ratio here, it's going to be negative 3. So every single number, you are multiplying negative 3 successively. So you want to find out the 8th term. All you need to do is to use the formula up there. So 1 minus negative 3 to the nth power, close parentheses, 1 minus negative 3. So now you would do most of the work in a calculator, but just make sure that you do your notation in a very clean and accurate way, because if you don't put parentheses, if you don't write the numbers correctly, then whatever you put in the calculator will be wrong. So this is what you would put in the calculator. So you say, well, 1 minus negative 3 to the 8th power divided by 4. That will be negative 1,640. Okay. Yes.
Are we gonna have to like when we take any type of quiz or test, are we gonna be given these questions? Or are we supposed to have them?
I would say you should know them. I think 2 of them are given. I forgot which 2. I need to double check. I know 2 of them are given.
Which ones are some that we should like commit to?
All of them. You just got 4. Just 4 of them. You should really know all 4 of them. Okay. Yes. I mean, you could. Let's say, oh, it's negative 3 to the 8th power, so it's gonna be positive. You can do that. I just didn't do it. I just keep it to R. Hold on. Now, I'm not done. Just one more thing for the last one, part B. Now for part B, the reason why I said gotta be careful is that this is 0. And I said if it's 0, you need to count the 0. So you can foresee how things would stumble here. Okay, so in this case, N is equal to 6. So if you have N equals to 6, okay, so this is where you have to be very careful. So you find out the first term. Now for the first term here, it will not be N equals to 1. The first term would be N equals to 0. Okay, N equals to 0. And then, so we say, well, if N equals 0, so A0 would be 10 to the 10 times 2/5 to the 0 power. So anything to the 0 power is just 1, so it's just 10. So the first term is 10. And then we need to find out, well, we don't need to find out the fifth term because the equation does not ask for the fifth term. But we need to know the R. What is the R in this case? Well, so anything raised to the n power, n minus power, that inside the number inside the parentheses would be your R, because you are multiplying this number every single time when n goes up by 1. So this is the R. So when we do our geometric series, we're doing S6. So A1, well, in this case, A0 would be 10. And then 1 minus 2/5 to the n power, and n is 6, not 5 again, n is 6, because we are counting total of 6 terms. And then 1 minus 2/5, okay? So if you can set it up properly, okay, then you can just put this whole thing into the calculator. Just make sure you use parentheses properly. Okay, so you have 10 times parentheses 1 minus parentheses again 2/5 raised to the 6 power, close parentheses, that's a numerator, divided by parentheses again 1 minus 2/5 here. So you get 10,374 over 625. It is okay to express it as a fraction. So 10,374 over 625. Yes, okay. So that will be the total of the first 6 terms from n equal to 0 to n equals to 5. Well, I mean, the first term is the 0th term, and then you have the 5th term, so altogether 6 terms total. So n it's equal to 6 again. So be careful to look at this. Okay, you may have 1, you may have 0. So if you have 0, then you have to be more alert. Then you have to make sure you count things properly. Okay.